Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nick. If you are new here, welcome. If you are coming back, welcome back. If you're new, make sure to subscribe now, and so you don't miss anything that I post. Today I want to talk about Lilly Singh. She has reemerged from quarantine to have what she's calling news. So I was curious to know from the thumbnail what this news was. Her thumbnail was kind of, I don't know. I don't even know what to make of the thumbnail. That's probably why I clicked. But it seems that she was up to something. So let me go back to it. Yeah, it was kind of, her thumbnail just says, so, and her just looking up like this. So, I wanted to talk about it. So I watched the whole thing. I'm going to be clear here. I'm not going to react to it here, but I wanted to share a few thoughts I had while watching it. And she starts by, so I will give a little bit of a summary as I go, because there's thoughts along the way. First, she starts by delivering art supplies to someone that seems to be a fan of hers. And so she delivers the art supplies, and with that came a gift card from her for that person to go buy more supplies. And she said something to the effect of, you're so creative and I want you to keep doing creative things, so here's a gift card to buy some more art supplies, basically is what she said. So that was kind of one of the intros, as well as her going to an In-N-Out near her, I'm guessing, and she tipped the drive-through worker. I didn't see how much she was tipping them, but she gave them some dollar bills or some form of currency, and she had her camera with her both times, which I thought was interesting, and that's part of kind of my criticism of this whole video, but I'll leave that towards the end. But that was kind of the first part I was thinking of. Actually, I'm not going to wait to criticize. I'm just going to start talking. My first question was, why do you need to film you giving people help, or you doing charity work, or you giving a helping hand to someone? I don't understand why you need to film it. And once I get through a lot of my thoughts, I'll understand, or I'll let you know why I think she did this. And then she goes into the second part of the video with little interspersement or whatever of music things, trying to be like, I guess, a Jimmy Fallon-esque type deal, where she thanks some of her staff on her NBC late night show, which was a little late with Lilly Singh. This is the part that I'm going to kind of get going on her, because her entire show is what has actually made her career actually take a hit, when in reality this is probably the thing that she feels is the pinnacle of her career, meaning she has made it now that she has a late night show where she is the first queer woman of color to have a late night show. That's her whole shtick, right? Is that she keeps going back to that. I'm the first queer woman of color to have a late night show, which it is something to say that she is being represented. But also her show is on at 1 a.m. And on NBC, which is not really her demographic's time to be watching TV, and that's not really an appropriate time, not only for her target demographic to be watching, but her target demographic is not what a typical late night host's audience would be. So it's kind of weird. Either NBC is trying to shift their audiences late night wise, or Lilly is trying to shift her audience to more of a late night thing, but they don't really mesh together. And you can look up tons of videos on criticism of her show itself, but I wanted to just kind of touch on this video in particular. It has to do with the show, but one thought I had, which I think is actually I thought it was pretty funny, is her entire show is as if she wrote it on her vision board 10 years ago. And it's the same thing as if I put on my vision board right now, or I said I put out into the universe, in 10 years I want to have $1 million US dollars, just be more specific here, just for argument's sake. But we all know 10 years from now, if we're being realistic and kind of forward thinking, that 10 years from now, the US dollar may not actually be a thing, or it may have, its value may be way in the dumps, and everyone will have switched to, or most people will have switched to some sort of cryptocurrency, whether it's Bitcoin or Litecoin or any of those other digital currencies that are popping up and growing every day. And since we're in this pandemic that's kind of upended society, those things are actually doing even better than normal. So that is what I feel like this situation with Lilly Singh is with her talk show. Is she put it on her like goals or vision board, whatever you want to call it, a long time ago when late night was a thing that was, I mean, it's still popular, but it's not the same level of popularity as it once was. And a lot of those shows are basically holding on to any trending online thing to keep their shows relevant online, because people are tuning in less and less to actual television or the actual full hour-long show. So that's what I felt like was a good way to kind of describe what I feel like her show is. It's a great accomplishment to have a late night show in 2012 or in 2014, like Grace Helbig did. She was a YouTuber who had a late night show, and that was kind of the peak of her career, and it kind of just went south from there, and she hasn't really regained as much notoriety or steam as she once had. And I feel like that is a very common trend in most YouTube people who try to transition to traditional media. They start on digital media or new media to kind of gain an audience, to prove their worth, prove their talent, and then they try to take that and sell it to traditional media. For me, I don't think it's a bad thing, but what it does is it kind of, I think, leaves a stain on your audience, and knowing that you potentially, not everyone feels this way, but you potentially used your online audience to get some leverage on a traditional format. And a few people have done it successfully. Like I think Colleen Ballinger, who I've talked about on my channel recently, she did a Netflix series, Haters Back Off, 2 seasons, I believe, of it. She's done a few stand-up specials with them, but she's always kept her regular YouTube going, and for whatever reason, that's all still really successful. Of course, Miranda Sings has kind of gone on the wayside, but I think it's important that, and I think this is what Colleen did, is she made sure to still prioritize her YouTube audience. She didn't say, oh, I'm leaving you for this, which is something I think Tyler Oakley did, which kind of screwed his career. He went in bed with Ellen DeGeneres, and we know what's happening with her. She's kind of become a villain online, and people are exposing her every day. So he got screwed over that. Grace got screwed over by that, really. And they were kind of friends at the time. And Lily's getting screwed over by this. So a lot of people, I think there's both sides of it, right? But it seems like we always harp on the ones that failed at it, because it's kind of good to highlight the things that don't work. So make sure people don't abandon their audiences. So I wanted to give that little side note on her show and kind of the trend of other people doing it and how hers is kind of lining up with that. So then she kind of goes into some Zoom recordings with fans, or Zoom meetings with fans. And the first one was her doing a little birthday party for 2 with one of her fans, where she gives her a signed copy of an alternate cover of her book. And the other one she does right after that, she set up to have one of her fans who owns a spa in Seattle, have some of her other fans patronize her spa so she can get back up on her feet, because she's closed for a little longer than she really wanted to. And so I thought that was nice. And she also patronized after that a dog store to buy a whole bunch of pet gear for an animal shelter that someone set up in their home to rescue animals from shelters that are, sorry, there's an eyelash in my eye, that had to close because of the closures that were enforced. And so, and then the third part I want to talk about before, or a couple more that I want to talk about before giving a little more opinion, is she also did went and visited a fan whose mom had just passed away, and started a GoFundMe for that fan for people to help with expenses, and she wanted to be the first one to donate to it. She also hosted a Zoom graduation where this is the weirdest part to me. She was Lily, the one wearing the cap and gown for the Zoom graduation for someone else. I thought that was kind of weird. I mean, I know it's kind of a nice thing to do, but you would think everyone else would have their cap and gowns on too, but I guess maybe they didn't have them, or their school didn't offer them for them. for their graduation because it's online. So I thought it was a nice gesture. I'm not gonna lie. And she or one more thing. Then at the end, she recapped all these or revisited all these visits, whether it's the In-N-Out person, or the art supply person, or the Zoom graduation, Zoom birthday, the Zoom spa person thing. And she gifted them all things like the spa person. She had someone in her life that was a Selena Gomez fan, and we know Lily is pals with Selena Gomez. She had her on her channel, so she gave her a signed copy of something. And she mentioned to the people in the graduation Zoom that this was going to be part of her video, and she also announced to all these people that she was getting a season 2 for her NBC show. So I have some mixed feelings on her video, I'm not going to lie, because on one hand, I'm happy she's helping people. She's in a position where she is pretty well off, I'm pretty sure, and she can help people. So I think that's great that she's helping people or giving them something to get them back on their feet during these times. I think that's great. But it was borderline exploiting the situation or exploiting people to promote her own show and her own announcement. And I had mixed feelings on this because here I am talking about her exploiting a situation for my channel. So am I technically like co-signing that or doing the same thing? That's why I'm not bashing her, but I'm not bashing her. That makes sense. And so that's kind of my biggest gripe with this, is the fact that she is telling the world, or that she is filming herself helping people. It's the same idea as when people go and give food to the homeless person that's on the side of the road and film themselves doing it. It's like, just do it because you feel like doing it or because you find it in your heart to help people. I don't understand why you need to do it to have some ulterior motive, which maybe she already was going to do these things and she was like, oh, we just got announced for season 2, might as well just mesh the two and get it all done in one video. But or she's really smart. Maybe I'm not giving her enough credit, and she knows that if she couples these two, it's going to create more controversy and people will talk about it. But one last thing I want to leave off on is the comment section was half and half. I was expecting people to completely roast her, but the video was actually done pretty well, all in all. Of course, there's some underlying things that are kind of problematic, but most people were saying, I hope she learns from some of the lessons or some of the mistakes she made in season 1, and people's criticism and constructive feedback for her show she'll take into account for season 2. That's what a lot of people were commenting. Some were like kind of hoping she was announcing her show was canceled, and then some other people were I think kind of in between or kind of confused of what the announcement was or anything. So I just wanted to leave off on that. I wanted to talk about this. If you have watched her video and you have some thoughts, let me know, and I would love to hear if you agree with me, maybe you disagree, or you want to elaborate on something I talked about, or maybe even I missed something and I didn't see it. So let me know what you think, and I can't wait to chat it up with you in the comments. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you made it this far and you think more people should see it and join the conversation. And once again, subscribe if you are not already subscribed. So I will talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.